Michael, thank you so much for taking the time. Lovely to see you. Thought it may be appropriate just to reflect a little bit over the last 6 months and just talk about what it's been like for yourself. I mean, if we start back in January, you're in Barbados 1 week, and I know you've been asked about this quite a lot, but then a week later you're the Manchester United head coach. Just wonder on a human level, what was that week like for you?
Yeah, it's obviously quite a change. What was it like? I mean, it just kind of happens, so you go along with it, to be honest with you. I don't think it's, there's an awful lot of thinking, really. It's just natural, you know, you kind of go along with it and get the call and discussions take place and then you kind of just go into it. And it's strange how quickly your mind flicks back into to football mode, really, from obviously going through having some time off and having Christmas at home and having some time away with friends. And but it's yeah, the brain's a funny thing, and that muscle memory kicks in, and certainly mind memory kicks in, and it's just what you know, and flick right into it. And obviously it was straight away into the City game, so it was quite a fast start.
How did you find that switch you mentioned, you know, that clicks? Because forget the football for a second, but just in any walk of life, going from, you know, a holiday type environment to then into an interview process and then starting a new job. I mean, it's pretty crazy for a week, isn't it?
Yeah, it can be. I think, yeah, you just kind of try and take it step by step, really, and try and be pretty clear with, not get too wrapped up in everything, and try what needs done, what's priorities, and kind of have that priority list of whether that was going through the process of the discussions, whether that was then getting the job, to then think, well, what do we need to do to prepare the players, get to meet the players, get to know the players quickly, put a team together. And there's kind of just prioritising of the most important things, really, and that kind of cleared my head quite quickly.
And on that point, I know you quite often as a fan would go to Old Trafford with your family to watch the games, so just wonder, from your observations over, you know, the last few years, if you want, as a fan, to then when you step into that changing room with the squad and you're addressing them for the first time, what you found what you expected from just observing as a fan in the stands, or was it maybe a bit different to what you maybe thought?
I think it's difficult. I've supported and I came to a lot of games home and away, actually, but
sorry, was it? Well,
no,
I wasn't doubting your away dedication.
Oh yeah, no, but I mean more of actually what's gone on in the past on a professional level, and this level is it's always difficult to judge from the outside, so I wouldn't want to go down that road. But what I certainly found straight away was a group of players that are really desperate to do well, really good group of players, and that want to stick together with the spirit, and I've spoke to it a lot of pretty much every interview I do. I talk about the spirit and the connection, and I found that straight away from the players. That I was really pleased with, because you never really know somebody until you get to know somebody, right? So as soon as I started to get to know the players, I could see there was a real sense of willingness to do whatever it takes to be successful, which was really pleasing.
And you had a benefit of knowing some of the squad already from your previous years here, but the start, you know, the two outstanding wins against Manchester City and Arsenal, just wonder, what do you think that did for maybe the connection to the other backroom staff and the players who maybe they didn't have that, you know, factor? How much do you think that helped the players buy into the staff, and also the staff get to know the players a lot quicker as well?
I just think in every aspect, it's a win and a big win and two big wins and three big wins on the back of it. I think it's, of course, it does wonders for everything. The staff coming in, some new staff coming into the club, getting to know each other as well, backroom staff, of course, players, some I knew, some I didn't, but I didn't really let that affect me in terms of relationships from before. I think you're coming in and judging for what it is now, and but of course wins improve a lot of things, you know, and I think it was how we achieved it. I think was give everyone such a lift and such a bounce and such a confidence and energy spike, if you like. We kind of tried to carry it on for as long as we could.
Just alongside then, and moving on a few months, just wonder how big, maybe just from the outside, it felt like the Leeds defeat, but then the win against Chelsea felt quite significant just because of the manner of the defeat at Old Trafford, but then to then win at Chelsea for the first time in 5 or 6 years with that performance. Did it feel maybe significant on the time to get back on the right road towards Champions League football?
Not massively, really. You're gonna win. Well, hopefully, you're gonna win games. You're definitely gonna lose some games at some point, or the odd game here and there. We don't want to, and we certainly don't plan for it. But at some point, you're gonna. Always had setbacks at certain times in this club, however successful we've been. So that's just part of it. A lot of people can get carried away with it, and with the ups and the downs, that's fine. That's what some people are there for. We're certainly not. We're here to kind of understand what we needed to do to get better. And of course, the reaction's important, and not to go back-to-back defeats and try to keep the momentum. But it wasn't like a major relief or a major thing. It was just keep doing what we're good at and believing that we get some sort of level of success with the results. Listen, going to Chelsea and winning, of course, it always has been a tough place to go, and winning that game was a great feeling. But it wasn't so much any bigger than it should be, certainly from inside us.
And I just wonder, over the last few months, as the results piled up, got closer to Champions League football, we've spoken to so many players over the last few months, whether that was Ahmad, Mateus Cunha, for example, all really supportive of you and the rest of the backroom staff, whether that's to continue on or just enjoying the moment as well. I mean, what has that support maybe meant to you and the staff, do you think, in terms of having such an impact in a short space of time? I mean, you mentioned kind of what a turnaround it was even to start with.
Yeah, of course. I mean, we want everyone feeling in a good place and again with a good connection and invested in each other to try and achieve something, and that's players, that's staff, that's all together. So we want the boys to have an element of happiness and enjoying being here. It's hard work, obviously, and it's challenging, and it has to be like that way. But I think to be thriving in the environment and be happy in the environment is important. So you can't always please everyone. That's how it is, and we're not here to please everybody, but to give them the opportunity and feel that they're in a good place to perform is the most important thing.
Just looking forward a little bit, I just wonder, with Casemiro leaving at the end of his contract this summer, lovely goodbyes from Old Trafford last weekend, but for Kobbie Mainoo and maybe looking at who that ideal partner could be for him going forward in the midfield, or whoever's there, but you get my point. I just wonder, what qualities do you think would really complement Kobbie Mainoo's game as he continues to develop himself as well, whether that's in one player or two players in that duo?
I think Kobbie can do a lot of things in terms of he's got a lot of strengths, and so in terms of whoever plays with him, it's not about just bringing somebody in to complement Kobbie. Of course, it's a big part of the midfield and the balance and the whole team of balance and who can play with and getting the best out of each other. But I understand why you asked that question. But I think there's a real, to be a midfielder at Manchester United, you need to have an element of composure, an element of expression. You've got to be positive. You've got to have an element of athleticism to deal with fast attacks and how we want to play the game. So in the end, you want to be creating excitement, so as well as having to defend. So what my answer is pretty much everything, really. Which is what you'd expect, to play at the highest level and to compete for the highest honours. You've got to be able to cope with a lot of things.
I just wonder, your partnership with Paul Scholes for so many years, what do you think was the key for such a sustainable midfield partnership at this club specifically, do you think?
I think there's certainly personal understanding and wavelength of, sometimes it's coachable, sometimes it's quite natural actually, and seen it over the years with pairings, whether that's centre-back pairings, midfield pairings, striker kind of pairings. Sometimes things fit for a reason, and certainly for playing with Scholes, he had a really good relationship with him, understanding each other, and probably the biggest thing is appreciating each other's game and trying to get the best out of each other. I think all the best kind of combinations, pairings, units, whatever that may be within a team is appreciating and understanding each other's games, certainly to try and bring out the best in each other.
I know we've asked you a lot of questions about Bruno Fernandes over the last